greatly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out, none came in. And the Lord said unto Joshua, See, I have given into thy hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor. From these two scriptures and some more we'll read throughout the next few precious moments, we get our thought for this afternoon, which is this: shut up, be quiet, and shout. But the Bible says it was shut up because there was a reason why it was shut up, and this is the shut up we get from our title. There was a reason why it was shut up, and the reason why Jericho was shut up is because the inhabitants of Jericho heard about the God of the Israelites. They heard about how mighty he was and how magnificent was and how strong he was and how terrible he was. And the rumor of this mighty God and his people got to the city of Jericho before the Israelites showed up. They heard the rumors of how God brought them miraculously out of Egypt. And he got them through the Red Sea, and he maintained them in the wilderness, and now they're on the brink of obtaining the promise that this God has said that they could have. So it is because of this that the people of Jericho were scared, and they shut themselves in, and they shut up regarding the Israelites. Why is this important to you? It's important to you because you need to understand that some of the reasons why things have not moved on your behalf, the reason why things have been closed concerning you, is not because you've done anything bad, but it is because the rumor of your God has gotten there before you showed up. So they're doing what he said. 10th verse. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, You shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout. Then you shall shout. Now check this out. This is Joshua telling them to be quiet. But if you go back to the instructions that God gave Joshua, God never told Joshua to tell the people to be quiet. This is important because Joshua added something to the directions that God did not say. He added to the directions, you got to do what God said, march around, and the priests and blowing of the trumpets, do all of what was said. But what he added to them was for them to be quiet and not to talk, and don't make any noise, and don't talk to each other. I asked God one day, God, why would Joshua add directions to what you have said? He said, Jason, the reason why Joshua told the people to be quiet is because at that time, Joshua was 80 years old. And 40 years earlier, they were in the same position on the brink of the promise. He was the same one that went up and saw the promise land and came back and said, we are more than able. Get your stuff and let's go up. And then some people started talking. They started saying things that God didn't say, and these spies that were not spiritual began to convince the people because of their talking to not believe God, and it delayed the promise for 40 years. And Joshua is now saying, I'm in control of this now, and I will not delay God's blessing another 40 years because you don't know what to say. So until you learn what to say, get somewhere and be quiet. Don't you say nothing. Don't you open your mouth to say nothing to mess up what God is saying. So God is telling us, be quiet. If you cannot speak in faith what he has said, if you cannot agree with what he has said, then get somewhere and be quiet. Because we cannot afford for there to be negative talking to cause what God has promised us individually and collectively to be delayed because of the lack of faith of a few folk. So if you get around some people that don't believe like you, tell them to be quiet and get away from them. They call you late at night and you're believing God for a miracle, and they start to tell you that their aunt had the same condition, and what happened to her was this. You stop them. Hey, wait a minute. Listen, I can't speak for what happened to your aunt, but I can speak for what's finna happen to me. God told me that by his stripes I am healed, and I'm coming out of this, and if you can't agree with what I'm saying, I'm going to have to hang up the phone so you can be quiet. And all God needs is somebody obedient. Now, the steps are done, and I'm coming to a close. The steps are done. They stop, and Joshua says, it's time. They prepare themselves to shout. I looked up the word shout. Look at what it means. Are y'all still with me? The word shout means focus, purpose, sound, to mar, M-A-R, or to ruin the structure. The word shout here means to have a focus, purpose, sound directed in a specific place that helps to ruin the structure. So now you've got millions of steps that have weakened the foundation. And now you have all these Israelites, and Joshua says, now turn towards the wall. And he said, when I blow this trumpet, I want you to shout, not just with some noise, not just with some noise, but I want you to shout with a great shout. Go back to all the hell that you had to go through to get to this point. Before you shout, get mad at all of what you had to experience to get to this place. Remember all of the hardships, and from that place, shout, because today is your day of victory. 3.5 million people surround the city. They're facing the city. The horn blows, and he says, now you haven't talked for 7 days. In this time, you have learned to focus yourself on God. You have learned to stop talking and chit-chatting with other people. See, sometimes when God isolates you and separates you from friends and causes people to not like you anymore, it's because he's preparing you for a shout. So he tells them, I want you to face the city, and when these trumpets blow, I want you to shout. So they get towards the city. They face the city, and they're facing a weakened structure. They point the force of their voice at the foundation of a weakened structure, and with a great shout, they shout. Oh! Whoa! And the Bible says that the walls which stood against them, the walls that seemed impenetrable, the walls that were stopping them from their blessing, the walls that was put up by an enemy, the walls came toppling down. Not because of a sword, not because of a shield, not because of a punch, but because of a shout.